Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
This is Sunbelt Commissioner Keith Gill, and I listen to the Funbelt Podcast.
This is the Funbelt Podcast, part of the Believe Network.
Hosts to Dusty Thibodeau of Warhawk Report, Jeremy Harper of Howl Razor, and Shane Metlin of the Daily News Record.
I think it's potentially a very good week for the Sunbelts.
But I'm just kind of going off on a random rant. It's just frustrating. We're all full of rice, and we're back together. The Funbelt Podcast gang. Guys, my DMs, my text messages were blowing up going,
I'm so happy.
What happened to the band? And I said, we lost Jeremy. He's drunk and naked somewhere.
This is not
Shane's
fun.
looking for him, and I'm just crying myself to sleep at night.
Let me tell you something, Tibbs. First of all, I want to be a big man here and say congratulations to the Warhawks. Congratulations to you, Tibbs. It's been since 2009 when Steve Roberts was coaching Arkansas State. So good for you for getting that victory. And, you know, you said that maybe I was lost for drinking. I literally, after that game, had some friends over. They didn't give a shit about college sports. They're academics, right? They came over. One of them brought 4 bottles of wine. We drank those entire 4 bottles. The next day, just sat on the couch, completely hungover, thinking about what happened with the first annual Rice Bowl, just commiserating in my sadness and drunkenness. But Tibbs, it must have been complete opposite for you. You must have been just stoked by the victory.
Yeah, it was all right.
Just another win in a long season of victories. Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, when you're on top and you dominate the Rice Bowl, there's no reason to brag, Jeremy. I mean, it's just second nature to have a big crystal bowl of rice with a rice patty on top of it.
Yeah, I never even got to really see the trophy. I saw like a photo of it, but I turned off the game before like the last 2 minutes. I couldn't see anymore. So I didn't see
man.
I had to entertain those guests. I wasn't going to let them see me in that state. So, yeah, it was rough. It was a rough time. But there were other games. Tibbs, maybe can we talk about the other games?
Nope, no other games. That's it. That's a wrap, guys. We'll do it again next week.
Listen, I will tell you that Armenta finally looked like he could throw a couple touchdown passes. I mean, he looked terrible at the beginning of the game. Just a lot of bad incompletions. Had that touchdown pick 6 that he threw, and then he figured it out. And then that running game finally figured it out too. Defense didn't play badly. A lot of goal line stands. Warhawks, I don't know if they're a contender this year, but definitely a team to worry about in the Sun Belt West. Not an easy out by any measure, by any stretch. I'm going to say it. I'm a Warhawk believer. You got me believing, Tibbs.
Halfway to bowl eligibility.
Halfway there, man. Don't putz out like you did last time.
No, that was 5-1. That was 5-1, Jeremy. We're not there yet.
I don't want you to make those same terrible mistakes.
Shane, how are your Dukes as they put a little whooping on Georgia Southern, 35-10?
They were in a pretty good mood on Saturday.
Yeah.
After that one. Yeah, I will go as far as to say I think we all early on kind of had Georgia Southern as being that contender in the East. I'm not sure they're there.
They're not there.
They're not there. I think now we're looking ahead a couple weeks from now for all Virginia matchup here for the East, I think, with the JMU and ODU kind of on the horizon.
Yeah, ODU has to be that surprise, right? Because we knew that JMU was going to be pretty good. We thought Georgia Southern was going to be pretty good. We just assumed that ODU was going to be weird and that maybe Ricky Ronnie was sort of in some trouble. But then he puts out some victories, including listen, beating Liberty isn't the same thing as it was last year or the year before. but you beat Liberty and take care of business with ODU.
Yeah, ODU, like I thought they were a little bit of a dark horse going into the season. I thought they would, maybe challenge, maybe knock off some good teams, but right now they're looking like potentially the class of the East. That they just put it on Virginia Tech, and I know Virginia Tech was a mess, but they turned around and beat NC State. Like, I'm liking ODU right now, especially if they can keep turnovers under control.
And I know I've become a fanboy of Colton Joseph, but I'm just going to say it again. 3 touchdowns for Colton Joseph. This guy is he's Mr. Offense. He's a one-man offensive juggernaut. Tibbs, is there anybody in the Sun Belt West that compares to this guy?
I think Bam, good old Bam with the running game of ULM. But no, I think that if he can keep it up consistently, Lunch Winfield at Louisiana Lafayette had a solid debut.
He did.
That he could kind of contend with Colton Joseph on those numbers.
Okay. All right. I do like that Lunch is finally getting his day. And a great time to have a day, too, against defending champion Marshall. That rematch. And, I was listening to the coach's presser this week. And, understandably, Coach Tony Gibson disappointed in the loss. But he could not understate how exciting that game was. He thought that was a really good game for the Sun Belt.
I mean, I knew what Lunch did passing, that he had the 2 touchdowns because somebody was kind of yinging and yanging it of the starter, Daniel Bill, having the 2 interceptions. Lunch comes in and gets the 2 touchdowns. Yeah. I didn't realize the ground game was strong with him as well. 129 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's scary. The Cajuns have a dual threat quarterback, because I think the last time we saw someone like that was Levi Lewis. And he got to strap on a belt and lift a big trophy from Commissioner Keith Gill.
Well, didn't Jay Walker come on here and tell us that we would see some packages with him when they were, expecting to go a different direction at quarterback, that we'd still see some packages with him? And I kind of got the impression that it was to let him be a running quarterback. So I think the fact that he's throwing touchdowns and racking up yardage, obviously the stats may be skewed a little bit by the extra overtimes, but yeah, I mean, that he's a true dual threat. I think it completely changes the outlook for the Cajuns going forward.
If I recall, Shane Metlin, when we discussed that in the preseason with Jay Walker, we referred to it as Lunch having a lunchbox package, right? Yeah. Didn't we try to make that into something?
I think we tried to, yeah.
I don't know if we succeeded, but maybe he'll catch on. I don't know. Speaking of not catching on, are we a little disappointed by Appalachian State versus Boise State? Are we disappointed by that? Or are we like, that's probably the expected outcome?
Probably. I mean, disappointed that the score got that out of control. Yeah, but I didn't have a ton of faith that App State was going to go up there and win. It's a tough travel. I mean, we've talked before about how tough it is for those teams to go out west and get a good result. And then obviously you're going to play at a place where, they have a great home field advantage. They have that blue turf. They have great fans and a good team. So it got a little more out of control than maybe I was expecting or hoping it would, but not super surprised that they weren't in this one with a chance to win it.
Yeah, AJ Swan was so good before this game. Comes into this game, I believe, dinged up. And maybe that showed. He was 11 for 24, 64 yards. A pair of picks. Not very good against Boise State.
A pair of pick sixes.
Oh, were they both pick sixes? Oh, my God. That's rough. Yeah, that is a rough time on the blue turf. But like you said, maybe that's the game. That's the kind of game we expect with Appalachian State, who definitely has some questions. Another, I don't know if it's disappointing because North Texas has been playing good, but you kind of wish that South Alabama had pulled out that game, Tibbs, against the Mean Green.
No doubt. I mean, We need to see something out of the Jaguars sometime sooner than later. I thought maybe they had a good shot of pulling this one out, but it just didn't happen. Just dug themselves too far into a hole to kick off the game to really be effective. I mean, Bishop. Ugh, sorry, I'm still full from eating all that rice there, Jeremy.
It's hard. It's hard to eat all that rice.
Bishop Davenport did get them on the board first, capping off the 10-play opening drive to give them the 7-0 lead. But from there, it was all Eagles all the time, just soaring all over it with the deep ball, the runs. It didn't matter what that Jaguar defense tried to do. They just weren't able to keep up.
Yeah, poor Caleb Hawkins out of the Mean Green. 140 yards on the day with 2 touchdowns. Kind of hard to keep up with that kind of production. Absolutely. Guys, what else have we got? What else? Other games did we get? Come on, we got some others, right?
Liberty, they will not be getting extended an invite to the Sun Belt Thanksgiving gathering as they fell to their second Sun Belt Conference team. Old Dominion getting weird, getting after them 21-7.
Yeah.
We kicked off our coverage with that, didn't we, Jeremy?
We did a little bit earlier, but we also didn't talk about Southern Miss kind of just exploding all over Jacksonville State. So I have expected a win from Southern Miss. Didn't really expect that big of a win from Southern Miss. Has Braylon Braxton finally found like his groove in Hattiesburg?
No, I think Jacksonville State's that bad this year that I think that they beat a really bad team. And I'm not saying that to take anything away from what Braylon Braxton did, but I really feel like they just played that bad of a team. I mean, they jump out to a 14-0 lead. They extend it going 21-3 at the half. And I don't even feel that it was really that close of a contest there.
No.
Southern Miss just dominant in every phase of the game, able to get 2 interceptions. Not a whole lot you could really say, especially when one of those picks is a pick 6.
Yeah, a lot of pick 6s this week. So, Braylon Braxton with the 3 touchdowns. Shane, we talked. We always at the end of the Sun Belt slate, we put together our top 5. Do you remember what your top 5 were?
I can look it up. I think I had JMU ODU, and I went with JMU kind of by the slimmest of margins there. I'd had ODU number 1 the week before, but I was pretty impressed by JMU this week. So JMU ODU, I believe Texas State was my third one. ULM was my 4th one.
Yeah,
and Louisiana Tech.
I tried to slip Louisiana Tech in there. I was scolded.
Yes, you had to pick somebody else.
I feel like, I was like, who's the 5th one going to be? Like Louisiana Tech, let's just claim them a little bit early because they're playing well.
Yeah, why not? Let's get them in the Sun Belt now.
So insulting.
But I think those were all worthy inclusions. I was too hungover to participate in that, so my apologies. But I think you got them right, Shane. What Tibbs, did he get them right?
Yeah, everyone but the Louisiana Tech pick. I think that it was pretty fair. I think I put ULM at number 3 just because of how big of a win that is and the momentum. You just got to hope that this week, stepping out of conference for their last P4 non-conference game of the season at Northwestern doesn't kind of deflate them, knowing that they have Coastal Carolina on the back end of that.
Yeah, you got to be ready for that. Yeah, I tell you what, I was impressed with the defensive output of ULM too, with the 6 sacks. That is the same number of sacks that ULM totaled for in their game against St. Francis and UTEP. It was like a sack machine going out there in Monroe. So there is something going on with that defense that's really clicking, Tibbs. I was impressed.
I like it. I was impressed.
Were you at the game?
I was there.
You witnessed the moment. Did you storm the field?
I did. They strongly discourage fans from doing it, but screw it. I was already on the sideline. I was going in.
All right, so Friday night, I did watch that. What was it, Virginia, Florida State game? Did you guys catch that?
Yes, where that poor receiver died.
I was watching that, and it's this wave of Virginia fans in the end zone there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to create a problem. And sure enough, the receiver and the defender at the end of the game just get buried. But now there was video footage of both of them walking around. So I guess they were okay, Tibbs. But yeah, that was kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I'll go back 2 years ago when JMU played at UVA.
Yeah.
And they've since kind of like cracked down on who they let get onto that hill to make sure you have a UVA student ID. But, that day there was a ton of JMU kids that were on the hill. I mean, obviously, they probably knew people over there. Like they brought, large groups of JMU fans. And so it was a very mixture, after a while, things were kind of getting thrown back and forth and stuff like that. But like, it just struck me like at the very beginning of the game, it's like, there's no security over there. And there's no barrier between that and the field. And you kind of just knew something was going to happen eventually. Whether it be like a field storming or a fight or something was going to happen there. You would think they would get some more security line in there if they're not going to have any kind of barrier between that many students and the field.
Yeah, I wonder if you just kind of pray that nothing bad happens, because even if you put more security, you're just creating like a situation where people are going to get hurt, even if there is more security. So I don't know how you stop it. I don't know if I wanted to stop.
Even if you put some hedges or something, like some sort of
barrier.
Like slow them down a little bit. It was a dead sprint. Like as soon as that ball hit the ground, maybe
it was like a basketball court storming. Where there wasn't anything really impeding. It was just whoosh. It was suddenly full. But I like they had the interview with. Oh gosh, I forget the name of the quarterback, but the quarterback for Virginia, and they had a drone out there trying to find the reporter and the Chad Morris, and they had the drone, Chandler Morris. They had the drone out there trying to find him. It was a kind of amazing thing. So I did enjoy that, guys. I know that with 5 games dropped into the hat, we're not at the halfway point yet. But we've come to the point where I think we know a little bit about these Sun Belt teams. Tibbs, tell me what's the big surprise you've seen so far? The one thing that makes you go, huh?
I think one of the bigger things, Southern Miss has not been as dominant as we really thought that they were going to be.
Oh,
we really thought that taking all the players from Marshall was going to be plug and play at Hattiesburg. And that really hasn't been the case. They've looked really good sometimes, and like Southern Miss last year, other times.
Mm-hmm. Shane, what's the one thing about this season, 5 games deep, that you're like, didn't see that coming?
Yeah, it might be just how good ODU has been. Like I said, kind of had them as a dark horse. Other than that, the overall record probably for South Alabama is a little bit surprising to me, especially when they show something they look like they could beat a Tulane, and then they just kind of don't show up against a team like Coastal. I don't know. They remind me a lot of what we talked about Sean Elliott's Georgia State teams for some years, where they just were not winning games early. They dig themselves a hole in September that they may have the talent to get out of eventually and maybe have a chance to get to a bowl game, but it's just been rough starts to the season for South Alabama. I don't know if I saw that coming.
One thing that I kind of saw coming, but maybe not to the fruition that it or the result that it has, even though that we're all excited about Lunch Winfield, and we're all excited about that big score with Marshall. I think I'm a little surprised just how poorly the Cajuns have played this year. I think everybody kind of expected Louisiana to be maybe on the same level as they were last year. I felt like they had lost a lot of guys in the offseason, but everybody was saying, man, no, they're actually loaded. And offensively, they just have looked pretty bad. And defensively, they didn't look too great against the Herd, but offensively, it looks like they might have something. So maybe they turn it around. But that's been my big surprise of how slow the Cajuns have been to get on this sort of winning track.
A quick shout out. Happy birthday to the leader of the Cajuns, Michael Desimo.
Did you say it right? I don't know.
I did.
Okay.
He's finally one of us.
Okay, you could have said anything. Yeah. What do you mean he's one of us? What does that mean?
He hit,
Old man.
Huh?
An old man? Is that what he's saying?
Tibbs, he said he's one of us.
yeah, he's in his 40s now.
Oh. Yeah, I'm in my 40s. Sure. Oh, that's great. I've been gone for a while. It took a little time to take my son to his new school at University of Oregon, but we dropped by Vegas before that. And let me tell you, I don't know if I'll ever go back to Vegas. I don't think that's my vibe. I don't think that's my scene. I like gambling a little bit. I don't like losing. It wasn't really my kind of people. It wasn't really my kind of group. I don't know if I'd go back to the Bellagio and hang out. It's just really not my
Did
thing.
we just slip into plugs, promos, and parting shots?
No. I got
Okay.
another parting shot, but I wanted to brag about going to Vegas because it felt like that's kind of the guy thing to do, right? Like there's still a little action left in this old salty dog. I just didn't enjoy it as much.
That's not in his 40s.
Yeah. Tibbs, have you ever been to Vegas?
Yeah, several times.
And what's your thought?
Love the food. Love
Yeah.
the people watching. Could care less about the gambling.
Yeah.
Absolutely love concerts in the Sphere.
Wow, you've really been to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Shane? Vegas?
I haven't been to Vegas. I've
Oh.
had some times where I was close to going and then it kind of fell through, and I haven't ever been there.
Yeah.
He went to Las Cruces. It wasn't Las Vegas.
If you're going to go to Las Cruces, you might as well go to Vegas. That's I'll give you that. I tell you what, though, man, there is a lot of Nevada out there, boys. If you are driving through Nevada, you will be driving through Nevada for a long ass time. It's like Texas. It's just bigger than you think. You're like, how am I still in Nevada? Does the desert ever end? It does.
That's how I feel about Alabama, going from
Yeah.
north to south.
Alabama's bigger than you think. Yeah, and Georgia's kind of big too. But yeah, those states kind of sneak up on you. I did pay a visit to an old friend of mine, Meteor Crater. Have you ever been to Meteor Crater out in the desert?
No.
No.
No, it's like this big crater out in the middle of the desert that was created by an impact from outer space. It's called Meteor Crater. That's what they called it. They don't have like a cool name for it. It's just called Meteor Crater. But it's really cool. I'll send you guys a picture. You'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really
Did you go in the crater?
Well, no, they don't let you just jog down into the crater. It's really deep. It's like a mile deep down there. It's really wide too. But and it's kind of hot. You know, you don't get trapped in the crater, unless you bring enough water. I'm giving you some meteor tips next time you visit a crater. Don't go into a crater without water.
Noted.
What the hell's happening, Shane?
I don't know.
All right.
I
Kids,
guess
wrap
it's
this
time for our plugs, promos, and parting shots.
All right.
I'm going to give another shout out, and it's one I wish we would have had an episode last week because I would have done it then.
Okay.
RIP, our favorite interview, Sean Clark, no longer with us.
Oh, that's right.
He was absolutely amazing. I posted the story on X last week
You did.
about the last interview we had with him, where, of
Awesome.
course, he looks at me at the end of the interview and is like, hey, you know about how good our kicker is, and gives me the hands up for the high five. And I'm like, just looking at him like, dude, really?
That's right. He wasn't afraid to cheerfully bust somebody's balls. What I liked about that picture I found of you and Sean was just how happy you looked being in Sean Clark's company. He was just one of those guys that no matter, what the circumstances were, you just enjoyed being around him. He clearly loved the kids he coached. He clearly loved the time he was at Appalachian State. ended like all coaching jobs and, getting fired or whatever. A lot of people did not like that. A lot of people miss Sean. And now, he's passed away, but he'll always be living here in our hearts, guys.
He will. I seriously will think of him every time I'm at media days and every time I'm doing an interview with a coach that definitely has some of that extrovert personality that he had. I'll be like waiting on him to kind of give me a little ribbing about something.
You know what else struck me about that picture? How big he was compared to you. Like, he was a big man. Like, you could tell he could handle himself in a situation. And then you were there, and you're not a small man, Tibbs. So much bigger than you.
I was not an offensive lineman.
He was. You could tell.
It struck me too, like this past week or so, like how many of his fellow coaches that when they gave their remarks, during the set, you could tell that it was genuine. It wasn't that, oh, we have to say something about this guy that either we didn't really know or didn't really like or anything. Everything everyone said, you could tell they felt bad. They felt bad for his family, that they liked him and they were going to miss him. And that, he was a genuine friend to, I think, his colleagues, which not everybody in that business is.
Yeah, a genuine friend because he's a genuine guy. Yeah. And Godspeed.
RIP 61. Shane, what do you have for us?
Well, this is, I guess, a parting shot based a little bit off of something Tibbs posted.
Wow.
Like, I don't know, maybe even a few weeks ago.
Sounds
like Mobile is going to get minor league hockey back.
Oh.
Monroe has it. I pointed out Norfolk has it. So, most of the places, I know you guys live in big cities, like Little Rock.
Sure. Yeah, Little Rock, yeah.
With a lot going on, you guys have your pro teams there. But, we're all kind of associated with these college towns where, like, there is basically, like, the colleges provide the sports with a few exceptions that we just noted. So I'm just kind of curious if you could have something come to your town, not necessarily Little Rock or Houston, but like something else come to Monroe or Jonesboro, or if you want it to be in where you live. But like, what kind of sport, what kind of team, minor league, if you think you could get a major league team, like what realistically would kind of add to your sports community where you're at? Because like, I start thinking about like, there aren't a lot of like outside teams. Like the teams that we cover kind of dominate the areas that we cover.
Yeah. And
like, would it be cool to have, a minor league baseball team in Troy or wherever, like, or an independent team or whatever. So yeah, just kind of throwing that out there. Like, what would you want to have?
Well, I know for a fact that Jonesboro itself and Northeast Arkansas would love to have a minor league team of their own. They would, like a minor league baseball team, they would love that. But I think the thing that they would like the most would be to have like semi-pro wrestling in Jonesboro. Like every week, just some guys that had a little bit of personality that would do wrestling, like, I don't know, like at some sort of, maybe at the Convo Center where they play basketball at Arkansas State. I think wrestling could get really big in Jonesboro. Like, it just a few miles down the road in Memphis, they had like a professional circuit of wrestling. And the guys in Jonesboro, the old timers especially, love talking about that wrestling that used to occur in Memphis. I'm talking about like Jerry the King Lawler and the Moondogs, all these old time guys. If we could get that in Jonesboro, it would take off. The three of us could be managers. We could be the ones like in the sequin suits and the like the big wigs and out there like getting body slammed by the other team or whatever. It could be a lot of fun. Tibbs, join me in this.
I don't know about wrestling. I'm jealous that in Houston we don't even have a minor league hockey team. In Monroe, Louisiana does. Well, I mean, but back in Monroe, we used to travel over to Jackson, about 2.5 hours away, to go see minor league baseball for the Jackson Braves. Could care less about the Braves, but they were in the Southern League. They played the Cubs. They played several other great teams there in that league. Monroe needs some minor league baseball. to come in. They had the old Shreveport Captains. Why not bring back the old Monroe Monarchs as a minor league team in Monroe?
Okay, that'd be good. How about like Crash Up Derby? Is that a sport or is that just a spectacle? Now there is a dirt track in Little Rock. It's actually down the street in Bentonville. It's a dirt track, and they do those dirt buggy type racings. That might be kind of fun in Monroe, don't you think, Tibbs?
So they tried to build a 8th mile figure 8 race car track and said that it was going to attract NASCAR racing.
Ooh, really? They thought
I don't think it even got the equivalency of rookie ball of NASCAR racing there. I remember there being some motorcycle jumps over school buses, and that's about the only extent of the excitement I ever saw there.
Shane, is there some redneck activity that Harrisonburg would embrace, like monster truck pulling, or I don't know, mud wrestling? I don't know what it would be, but is there something Harrisonburg that maybe isn't available there now, but if it came, it would just capture the hearts and minds of the population?
Yeah, maybe like monster trucks or something like that. I don't know. I mean, the redneck activities, I think, go on up deep in the mountains where like they're actually some redneck activities actually happening. I think, when you get out into the wilderness a little bit, but when we might not be talking about the same thing.
No, you know what I would like to see for Harrisonburg? Professional log rolling, where you're out in the water with the log, and you got two guys on a log, and they're trying to get each other off the log.
Could see that. One thing we have here that's good, like that you can't do everywhere, is fly fishing in the rivers and streams and run through the mountains and stuff. So maybe we need to start like a professional fly fishing circuit.
Do they have that?
I don't know.
Okay, we can start that. Yeah, that's cool because there's professional bass fishing, right? Yeah, I've seen that. By the way, that's a big scandal here in Arkansas sometimes, the cheating in bass fishing.
Was that where they cut the fish open and they had weights in them?
They put weights in them, yeah. I mean, you got to be a real schmuck to want to cheat at a bass. I guess there's some money. There's some money involved. I guess there is, but man, you get caught doing that, you're just a cheese for life.
So, Jeremy, what was your prize for your 80-pound bass?
Yeah, my 3-inch 80-pound winning bass. Yes, that would be $10,000. I don't know. I don't know what the prize money is. Must be.
Did you give that to the NIL?
We're kind of forced to do that now, aren't we? Aren't we pressed to put every penny we own into NIL now? Isn't that our lot in life?
You should buy more rice with it.